gets another shot. They just kicked Rattler to the curve over in New Orleans. He did not look bad.
No.
Spencer Rattler was not the problem at all in New
No.
Orleans. So maybe he gets another shot. And again, I think what really is going to probably kickstart this new wave is if the Colts. I say if the Colts can at least go to a championship game with Daniel Jones,
Yeah.
I think that you're going to start seeing guys say, you know what? Maybe I don't go all in on quarterback. Maybe I just build that unit
Yes.
and try to just hassle back this shit. Maybe we might see that return. I don't know.
No, I definitely feel as though that'll
Yeah.
be the meta. I mean, you talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Seattle Seahawks, the Colts now. There's teams across the NFL to where their quarterback position was solved through free agency. It was not solved through the draft. Don't get me wrong. Like, obviously, there's, the Patrick Mahomes of the world and the Josh Allens of the world, and obviously, right? But this has been kind of a revelation in terms of team building where it's like, wait, no, we can actually build competent rosters that are perennial playoff contenders with a quarterback that is out of free agency. And I feel like you like the biggest like example this year is obviously the Colts. Like you see what the Colts have done where listen, you still got Brees Hall, you still got Garrett Wilson. Like you have players. Like, okay, let's fill out that defense. Let's use the money that we've now freed up to maybe, it's to be seen. Are the Seahawks going to bring back a Sam Darnold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are the Colts going to bring back a Daniel Jones, right? Like, there's going to be guys out there to where I feel like if you get a competent quarterback in that system with a talented defense, a good old line, you can make noise. 100% you can make noise.
Yeah, and I think there's another thing that you could probably throw into like that hat of like, quarterbacks that could be that little spark in a team, and that QB is I think what we've seen with the Mac Jones. Mac Jones looked really really good,
Jones, I didn't even think about him. Yeah,
yeah, and
I just said him with the when he's been playing great fill-in football.
and like we actually signed him to a 2-year contract, so if we maybe during the offseason we could look to maybe move him for like a decent pick, maybe like a 3rd-round pick,
Maybe.
And I think if you're a Jets, if you're saying 3rd-round pick for Mac Jones off the season he's having, I mean, shoot, why not?
I'll take a
Why
flyer.
not?
Now, I do want to propose a question to you guys. Actually, I think it's gonna be a really good. Like, we might just pencil this shit in because I think it's a really good question. I've been seeing like talks online about this. I want to see your guys' take. We talk about quarterbacks very harshly, right? And I remember I saw this clip online, and it was saying that you guys hate quarterbacks so much, y'all would have hated Peyton Manning entering the league, right?
Yeah.
The development time for quarterbacks that we've historically seen, that shit is completely gone, right?
100%.
And I think we're seeing a lot of teams not necessarily completely abandoning their guys because they at least get at least like 2 or 3 years or something like that. But we got teams that are just drafting quarterbacks and then moving on from them, and it doesn't even seem like they get enough time to even find their true form. I mean, the Bears moved on from Fields, and then they went and got Caleb Williams, right? And before this season, people were saying, man, this guy Caleb Williams, is he really the guy? You know what I'm saying? They gave him all those weapons when they signed Keenan Allen, and they had the DJ, that trio. They were like, okay, we gave you everything you want. Rookie Caleb Williams, go get it done. Excuse me, did you say rookie Caleb Williams? Like, you know what I mean? The expectations for a lot of these guys are getting very, very weird. So I wanted to ask your guys' opinion. We talked about how we think in the future free agency may be the new wave for teams fixing their quarterback problems. What do you guys think about how current new quarterbacks or quarterbacks that kind of just got into the league, how their standing is going to be, since we think that a lot of these dudes are probably going to get abandoned for a gamble for a free agent guy?
I think the whole stigma around like quarterbacks being like the be all end all, I think over the past couple of seasons, I think it could slowly change in the sense of like, hey, we don't have to find that quarterback of the future right away. Like, why like you said, like both of you guys said, why not find somebody? And why not build the rest of your team first? Make sure you have a surefire offensive line. Make sure you have a very solid defense, and then after that, okay, now let's find a quarterback or a veteran quarterback at that to maybe steady the steady the ship, right? And then after that, have a guy younger to learn under him, right? And I think nowadays is one of those things where, quarterbacks, if you drafted in the first round or if you drafted high, you have to play right away. And that's definitely not the case, right? And it's one of those things where you see with Caleb Williams, like you said, where he had an up and down season last year, and then after that year, they're like, okay, is he really the guy? Are we supposed to get another quarterback, or this and that? But sometimes coaching matters, right? Coaching matters, and the players around the quarterback matters a lot. Like, and Kai has said this a lot of times where the stat of a win. A win is not a quarterback stat.
No.
It's a team stat, right? Like, sure, a quarterback can go out there and influence a game in such a way where you will win a game, right? But there are other certain things that goes on in the game that affects the outcome of the game. Sometimes, for example, right, with Josh Allen, where when he plays the Chiefs in the playoffs, he has an amazing game, but he'll still lose, right? But that's why winning. That's my point. That's Kai's point, where a win and a loss is not necessarily a QB stat; it's a team stat, and context matters, right? But going back to the point where what Lucas was saying about the quarterback situation in nowadays leagues is that, look, for me personally, and I'm not the average fan where like, oh, this quarterback, like for example, Jaden Daniels and CJ Stroud off their first year. Oh, they're like a top 10, top 5 QB in the league. No, I'm not gonna do that. Right? For me, right, even coming into the league, going into the season, right? I don't care how high you're drafted. I don't care if you're drafted number 1. I'm putting you at the bottom of my rankings because I don't know how you are going to perform in the beginning of the season, right? And then after that, I'm not going to rank you as high even after that, even after your first year, because for me, I think you can only judge a quarterback after at least 3 seasons, because the first year is okay. Are you cold or hot, right? And if you are hot in the first year, there's your most likely your second year is like your sophomore slump, pretty
Man,
much,
that
right?
sophomore slump has killed a
Yep.
lot of dude. Man, you
Yeah,
could. I when you were saying like the CJ Shrouds and the Jaden Daniels, I'll be honest. I was one of them dudes that bought into that CJ Shroud shit. You could not have convinced me that he would not have won MVP if he never got hurt that rookie year, right? And then going into that second year, that slump was just
slump,
rough.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
you
we
look at
saw
it
this.
this year, it's even worse,
It's just
right?
not. And then
And
Jaden Daniels, when that film got out on him,
yeah.
yeah.
It's just one of those things, though. Like, to Cochran's point, because I agree. Like, it takes me about 3 years to where I can really get a good feel for the entire context as to who this quarterback is, because you get this fucking, like, the problem is that everybody wants to be first. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to
Yes.
be the
Yeah.
first person to say that this person is the new GOAT. You know what I mean? Oh, look, I said it 3 years ago that he's going to be amazing, or I said 3 years ago he's going to be ass. Like, everybody wants to be first, but the reality is that you sometimes you just got to sit on the fence. You have to actually watch these guys play, because you get situations like this where guy has an amazing rookie year. Oh my God, he's top 5. Then he has, for a multitude of different circumstances, whether it's team injury, coaching staff, like for whatever reason, he has a bad second season. So now retroactively, now everybody's trying to hurry up and backpedal and say, "Oh wait, no, now he's ass." You know what I mean? Like this, it's like this slingshot where it's like, okay, you can't just say like, oh, the team had a bad year, and you already have the vice versa, the Drake Mays of the world, where his first season wasn't that great, second season really good. So now it slingshots him up. It's like, oh my God,
Mhm.
Drake May is the next coming to Tom Brady, and maybe he could be, but it's way too early to know. You know what I mean? Like, I will, at least me personally, when it comes to my sports takes, I won't pigeonhole myself that way and be like to make these
Exactly.
profound statements on these quarterbacks. Like, first of all, the reality of the situation is any team that is good enough to win a Super Bowl, that has won a Super Bowl, the reason they won the Super Bowl wasn't just because of the quarterback. Like, you have to be able to win in a multitude of different ways in order for you to even make it to the Super Bowl. But the reality is, a lot of these teams that have won the Super Bowl historically have just flat out just been good teams, good rosters. You know what I mean? It wasn't just one good quarterback just carrying. I know it sounds good and it looks cool in the TikTok edit, but the reality is, in order for you to win a Super Bowl, newsflash, you have to have a good 53-man roster. Like, it comes down to that. You can have the best quarterback in the world, but if you don't have a good old line, if you can't run the ball, if nobody's getting open, and if nobody's playing fucking defense, you're not gonna win. Straight up.
Yeah. And honestly, that, like, on that point, there's been quarterbacks in the past where, like, they've been probably one of the best quarterbacks in their era, and they couldn't win the big one because they don't have a full team. Like, for example, I'll bring up a guy that people don't know, Dan Marino. He's regarded as one of the best quarterbacks of all time, right? Maybe top 5 in some people's list, right? But every time that where he has gone to a Super Bowl, they would just get stomped because what happened? You come across against a better team, offense and defensively, right? And that's the thing. Like, even now, right, where Patrick Mahomes, the first, I guess, pretty much every single season of his career, he's gone to the AFC Championship or Super Bowl or something like that, right? And now, after I guess, like, the last, including this season, the past 3 seasons or so, people are having some opinions like, oh, is he that guy? Is he still an all-time great? Like, what are we talking about, guys? Like, look, yes, look, what is the reason why the past 7, like, before then, the 7 years or 8 year, whatever length of time that he had, where they've been dominant because they had a great team offensively and defensively. It's complementary
That
football.
defense, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, man.
Yeah,
The last
but
2 Super Bowls specifically, they've won because they've had the best fucking defense in the league.
exactly. It goes to show that, like, look, like, not every year is going to be perfect, and let's just not make it a thing, like a common thing where, oh, if you have a bad season, oh, it's because of the quarterback. No, that's not always because of the quarterback. It's because of other factors. Like, oh, like maybe look at this year, right? There's a hella injuries. There's so many injuries. Like, what did we just talk about? The parity of the league is so weird because there's so many weird stuff that's going on that we've never seen before. You know what I mean? Like, where some teams that you expect to do that are doing good, and then some people, like, even like the Chargers or the Niners, where they're heavily injured, but there's somehow a winning record, like 7-4, 6-4, or whatever, right? So it's just interesting that, like, we can't just say, oh, the quarterback is the be all and end.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think I want to take the devil's advocate position here. I think that we have no choice but to view the quarterback in that position because of the current way that the league's salary cap is distributed. I mean, you got guys that are legitimately taking up 20% of a team's salary cap, right? I'm a big proponent that if you make the most money, you need to do more. Because again, the NFL is a rob Peter to pay Paul league. The amount of money you give to one person is money that another person cannot get, right? So if I'm going to pay you money, I'm not expecting you to just play at the level that you are. I'm expecting you to exceed the value that you're currently playing at so much to a point where you make up for the loss that I just got, right? And with how these quarterback contracts are working, you realize these dudes quite literally have only a couple of years in the league before their rookie deal goes up, and immediately they're taking up 20% of their team's salary cap. And now you got to start making tough decisions on. Now we got to start making cuts on maybe the O line. Now we got to start making cuts on maybe the defensive end. And now you have to put this much pressure on this guy because he's making so much money, or he's about to make so much money. If you're a rookie and you come into a team that's already kind of set, you only have about so many, go arounds before that unit that was built around you is going to start to degrade because now you're going to get your money and you're going to take up that salary cap. Like, for example, what I really, and again, I fucking hate this team with off my heart, but you look at a team like the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Who got their guy in Carson Wentz. We're supposed to go and win that Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. He unfortunately goes down. They win that ring with Nick Foles, right? They then have that big unit that they pause. Wait, whoa, wait. That was wait, whoa. Because I did this too, and that was fucking. That was whoa.
Wild shit going on over here and over here. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I don't know, it's the fucking water in the Schuylkill, bro. This shit, I don't know what's going on, man. It's the Schuylkill. Something. Oh my god! Because it was this. It was this that made it. That was the worst part. That shit made it bad, bro. Don't clip that. But shit, what was I talking about? I forgot what I was talking about. Fuck. The Eagles, like how they pay the Carson Wentz that buddy, and then he gets hurt. They don't need him anymore, and then they pick Jalen Hurts, and they have that the team which is already set, and now they have this talented quarterback who's only on that rookie deal, who was able to take them where they needed to go, and then once he got his money, they already had the hardware. So once you win that ring, salary cap doesn't fucking matter, right? You got the ring. But if you don't get that ring, now you're looking like you're the Cincinnati Bengals, to where you were that close.
Well,
but unfortunately, you don't got that hardware, and now you got to pay Paul. Peter, unfortunately, is out of here.
To respond, I feel like we're targeting this energy in the wrong places. Like the problem is not the fact that the quarterbacks are making 20% of whatever. The problem is that these GMs are shitty at drafting. They just straight up are. Like even the Eagles they gave an example. The second team that won a championship, they traded for Saquon, they traded for AJ Brown. Outside of that, everybody was drafted by the Eagles. Howie Roseman did a fucking phenomenal job, solidified himself as a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, because of the drafting. It wasn't the trades, it wasn't the contracts, it was the amount of talent he was able to draft. And these weren't like predominantly guys that were like 7th round picks where it's like, fuck, you really got to dig deep. A lot of these guys were 1st round picks. He was just drafting good players within the first 32 picks of the draft. Not a lot of teams are just good at that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's one of those things. If I'm building a team and I'm going to go the route of, you know what, holy shit, we drafted a, because most of these, top tier quarterbacks, they're drafted first 5 picks of the draft, right? So it's like, okay, I'm drafting this guy for a reason, right? And he's proven to me that, oh shit, he's a really good quarterback. So, okay, I am going to give him the money. Now it's my job as the GM to work around that. Like, yes, it may not be that a lot of these guys are going to be here for a long time, but I'm going to steady keep churning and looking for a new talent in the draft. Like, that's the way you're going to have to build your team. So I'm not going to let these shit-ass GMs off the hook because they're like, well, I did my job. I gave Joe Burrow $300 million. You were supposed to, dickhead. Any GM could do that. That is very easy to do. Holy shit, you're an MVP caliber quarterback. Here's a lot of money. Not very hard. The hard part, and when now it's time for you to actually do your job is, okay, I have this quarterback taking up 20% of my salary cap. How do I fill in the rest of the talent of the rest of the team with talent? Like, if you fail to do that, that's not on the quarterback's job. Like, the only thing that the cap space does is like, okay, now you can sign more free agents, which are already proven players. Like, you're still not doing your job in terms of like actually standing on a certain belief of, okay, I believe that this player shows certain traits that I think will translate to the professional level. It's also very easy to say, oh my God, you're good at your job. Here's money to come to my team to do it. Like, it doesn't take much. But I feel like it really comes down to your philosophy on how you believe that your team should be built. I believe that the best teams, at least in my lifetime, have been built through the draft. Like, Patriots dynasty, that was built through the fucking draft. Bill was not spending no fucking money. like if you went to the Patriots thinking you're going to get a payday, you're high. You were going there as, a small level free agents, you know what I mean, chasing a ring, you know what I mean, or fitting into a system, and you were first round picks that or draft picks that they were getting guys that were, getting all pros in the third and fourth and fifth round. Even teams like the 49ers, like, even though yes, you guys haven't won a championship, but the fact that you guys have had the ability to have this sustained success year in and year out it has not come from having the biggest free agency class of 2022 and 2023. No, it's because year in and year out you're getting professional football players in the sixth round that are, you can squeeze every last bit of the lemon out, and just like, holy shit, like, we have a starting caliber, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That I believe is how the team is supposed to be made. Like, I know the Rams were kind of like the anomaly. We're just like, fuck them draft picks. We just signing everybody, and this is going to be holy shit. But it's like, if they didn't win that Super Bowl, it would be like, holy fuck. Like, what do we do now? Like, oh my God. Like, it would have been a rough, like, 2 years after that. But luckily it worked out for them.
Yeah, and I think it's, like I said, it's very important to not only build with your quarterback, but around the team with your quarterback, right? Because, like I said, the quarterback position obviously has to pull its own weight,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
But we're not trying to discount that, oh, the quarterbacks don't matter. No, the quarterbacks do matter, and they have to perform at a certain level, and they will be judged on it. Yeah, for sure, 100%, right? But like I said, context matters a lot, and like how each quarterback situation is very different. Like, for example, like Justin Herbert's quarterback situation could be very different from, I don't know, Dak Prescott's quarterback situation, or even Brock Purdy's situation, right? Because
Deshaun Watson.
like Deshaun. Oh my gosh, yeah, Deshaun Watson. Like, I forgot he was still in the league.
Exactly, fully
So
guaranteed.
Next topic: how will Deshaun Watson coming back change the NFL? Who is signing Deshaun Watson? Who is signing Justin Tucker to fix their? He's
oh yeah,
free.
you already know we signing him, bro. We signing him, bro.
Now. He's free. Hey, Atlanta. Do not send Justin Tucker to Atlanta. Actually, he would not. Don't send him to Atlanta.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, the only thing worse than sending him to Atlanta is like sending him to Thailand or some shit. Like, he does not. Was that too much?
That was perfect.
Like, it's just one of those things, like, where like to your point, it's like, yes, like, if you do what the Browns did with Deshaun Watson, that will ruin your team. The Browns are still feeling the ramifications from doing that deal like 3-4 years later. But you can't sit here and say that situation, not saying that you are, but anybody that says that, it's the quarterback's fault, you can't sit here and say that situation is the same as Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals situation. Like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's true.